Hi, good morning, everyone. Peter Liciaga here, and I thought I'd start our week off with personal safety reminders for parents that you can share with your children, and hopefully you're having an ongoing conversation with your child on a regular basis about being safe. So I just wanted to give you 9 reminders as my morning brief for the week, for this week. And I hope you had a great weekend. I know I had an awesome weekend, very, very exciting weekend. And so, but before we get started, let me just go ahead and let you know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about 9 different things, and I'm going to go ahead and stick to my paperwork here, the tips that I put down. There's a lot of tips that I have that we teach at our school at Donato Karate Center in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And I broke it down to 9 things. I want to get through them quickly so that you could get on with your day. I know my kids, they just went off to school. I'm about ready to get ready to go meet with Master Donato at Donato Karate Center and talk about our upcoming week. I did share some videos on what we'll be doing at our school this week. So go ahead and go to my Facebook page and scroll down, find those videos. Very exciting. I had a lot of fun filming them. And what I want to do, first of all, let me just ask you guys, can you guys hear me okay? If you can, just go ahead and like or put in the comment section, yes, I hear you okay. And I know that some of you are hearing this live. Some of you will be seeing this on the replay later on in the day because you might be still getting your kids ready for school. And so I want to make sure that you guys hear me okay. Let me know if you can. And so before we get started, also, I wanted to make sure that I share this on our groups. So I'm going to go ahead and share this on our groups very quickly before I get into the 9 parenting. So give me a moment here, okay, guys? And so I can share this live on, we have a Mount Laurel group that I share my information with, and also in Burlington, because we have students in those 2 areas that I want to make sure that know that I have this going on. So let me go ahead and share this very quickly. And one of the questions I do want to ask while I do this is right here is how many of you actually have your children enrolled in martial arts or in a self-defense program or an ongoing program where they're constantly reminded of safety and what to do, how to act, how to be confident. Go ahead right below, just say yes or let me know if you do, and or if you have had your child in a martial arts program, or if you've done a martial arts program that you've benefited from, and let me know right in the section right below. And I'm just go ahead and putting this up on our groups right now. Okay, so I appreciate that. Okay, so let me go ahead. Number one tip, and these, again, I call them a tip. They're reminders, really, because I think a lot of us parents, we know what to do. We know we know safety. We know how to create safety in our environments. You know what to do when we go out there. Number one thing, and teach it every day for me, is simply this, and you got to do this often, and you got to do it and make it as clear as possible, or what I call the 3 A's. The 3 A's of personal safety, of self-defense, of creating safe environments. The number 1 is awareness, and I say this all the time, and I say it so often that I know I sound like a broken record. Awareness. Number 1 line of defense is awareness. Be aware of your surroundings. And that's the first of the 3 A's. Teach your children just to be aware, to use their eyes, their ears, their senses, and sometimes I'll tell the kids their spidey senses, to make sure that they know what's going on around them. Eyes and ears, listening and watching. Always, always. And the next thing is just be able to assess, to think, to assess where they are, who's around them, to think about who's around them, where they are, and how important that is to say, okay, there are where the exits, where's safety if I need to run for safety? Where are the people that I can go to that if I need someone to help me? Where are my parents? Where are the teachers? Where are people that are strangers that I don't know, I want to stay away from? So always assess, think about the situation and where you are. And the next thing is action. What action will I take if I need to get out? Or what action will I take if I need to protect myself? So the 3 A's of personal safety: awareness, assessment, and action. So create this conversation with your children and have it ongoing. Make it clear and make sure that you chat with them. Next on the list, and I'm do the best that I can to go through this quickly because I know I have to get ready for my meeting with Master Donato. And those of you that don't know me, let me quickly just say that I've been in the area of Mount Laurel since 1999. My wife has grown up in New Jersey, and I started teaching full-time martial arts at Donato Karate Center in 1999. I came on full-time, full head-on, at that time. So I've been in this area for a long time and teaching full-time, and I have students now that are in their 20s and even 30s. So I've been doing this for a long time, teaching martial arts with Donato Karate Center, who's been in the area since 1993. I also have been doing a lot of school talks, hundreds of school talks, and speaking to thousands of kids and speaking to teachers as recent as a couple of weeks ago, with more coming up. So I've been doing that. So I've been deep in teaching martial arts and teaching self-defense and teaching creating safe and healthy, emotionally safe and physically safe environments. So I've been doing this for a long time. So number two is this: talk to your children about uncomfortable feelings and situations that make them uncomfortable. And your child, and create the conversation and a chat with them. Doesn't have to get very, very deep. If they get uncomfortable, most definitely, back away from it. But make sure it's a conversation that you come up with about, uncomfortable feelings, situations that might make them uncomfortable, what people might do to make them uncomfortable. So make sure you talk about this with your child. Next thing on the list, number 3, is talk about what I call tricky people. And there are people out there, let your children know there are people out there going to try to trick them into doing things that they know, your child knows is not right, makes them uncomfortable. So create that conversation about what kind of things that tricky people will do, and let your child share their thoughts and create a conversation. Don't turn this into a lecture, but make it a conversation. It could be a car chat on your way to the supermarket or way to martial arts or driving them to school. Create a nice chat on, who tricky people are, what they would do, and maybe even create a conversation where your child will talk about what they would do and have a dialogue with them. Next thing is be specific and explain to your child some of the things that would make them uncomfortable, that's not safe, that people may do, and create, again, a conversation and make sure it's specific, very, very specific. Like, for example, what happens if they're in school and they go into the restroom and maybe another kid comes in and that other child starts talking about things that their child's uncomfortable. Be specific. What would your child do? And give them some options, tell them what they can do and how to deal with that situation. So be specific with some of the scenarios. And then next thing is role play. Role play with them. Talk about, create a situation. Say, hey, what if you're in the hallway and another kid that is a known troublemaker, known bully, corners you? What do you do? And then role play with them. Maybe, have them say, stop, leave me alone, or back off, or, can I please pass? Create roles and play with those roles. Have fun with it, and don't get heavy or anything like that, but keep it light, age appropriate for your child, whether they're 4 years old, 7 years old, 10 years old, or even college age students. Parents, again, keep it age appropriate for your child. So moving on to number 6. And again, I'm going through this quickly so we can get on with our day. These are reminders for you. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know with the comment section below, or you can email me, peterliciaga@gmail.com. Send me your questions. Number 6 is this. Make them the boss of their body. Let them know that they are the boss of their body. That tell your child that that they should never ever let anyone put their hands on them, and no matter who they are, if they're uncomfortable about it, let your child know to speak up about it, and then role play with that. Let them know what this is what you can say. This is how to say it. Now I know there are children that are shy, and it's a challenge to teach a child that's pleasant, that's nice, that's shy to speak up. But through role playing, you can help them find that voice. And I always talk to the kids, you've got to find your voice, that voice that you're going to use to ask for help, or to tell someone to back off, or tell someone to just leave you alone. And you try different voices. They can be a high voice, could be a high, a low, deep voice, a very serious voice, or a voice with a smile on the face. Hey, back off, please. Leave me alone, or leave me alone. So have them role play with that, and let them know that they're the boss of their body. And also create scenarios. Like, for example, when they go to the doctor, let them know, and when you go to the doctor, let the doctor know to explain what they're doing, so that as they go through a check through their body, because again, there's different situations. How do you help your child be safe and feel safe and confident in these situations, especially when it comes to their bodies? In school, there's a time and a place. At the doctor's office. So help your child understand the difference in how to respond, and role play with that and explain that. Moving on to number 7, giving simple steps for scary situations. Let your child tell your child that as soon as possible, as soon as they feel uncomfortable at all, as soon as they feel uncomfortable, let them know that they should follow certain steps. And one step would be to simply speak up, and simply say no, back off, or stop doing that. Something. Help your child, again, find that voice, find that phrase, depending on their age. Find that phrase that they can practice, so that if they get to a situation where they feel uncomfortable, that they use that. The next thing is to get out. I always tell my kids, the number one thing that I want as a parent is that I want you, as my child, to be safe. So get out. Number one thing is get out. You feel uncomfortable, use your words. Tell them to back off, stop, and then get out, run, get out of there. And next thing is to find an adult they trust. And if their parents are around, if you're around, let them know to come to you, or their dad, or a teacher. Or if they don't see a teacher, or you as a parent, they don't see the parent, that they look possibly for another adult. That's a parent that has children. That's a huge distinction. Another adult that has children with them, and then go to them for safety. Okay, so the next thing on the list, going through this quickly so we press on all day, number 8 is to discuss with your children about online safety. Children younger and younger, I'm seeing on devices and actually going on the internet. So as parents, we need to study about the safety of being on the internet, and share that, create discussions and dialogue and conversations with our child about being safe on the internet. Because I see, as you see it every day, that's just the time we're living in, and it's going to continue going in that direction as we move forward into the future. It's going to be a given where everyone's going to be connected to the internet. So we need to learn about safety there, and then teach that to our children. Again, age appropriate. If it's a 4-year-old, because I'm seeing 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds on devices even younger. So we have to dialogue with them, create safety walls for our children as they get older, go through the tween years, the teen years, even the young adult years, college. Ongoing conversations, learning and sharing and learning. Okay, next thing, last thing that I'm going to leave you guys with today is just keep this personal safety conversation ongoing. So that's just a conversation you have once, but it's ongoing. It doesn't have to be deep every single time. It doesn't have to be lengthy every single time, but every so often come up with a conversation. Hey, how's it going? and what did you learn today, or what happened today? Share something today, and share about safety. What did they learn about safety? I know more and more my children are teaching me about what they're learning on the internet for safety, or what they're learning in school that they realize that they have to have a high level of awareness to maybe how kids are acting or speaking. Sometimes I'll ask my kids, hey, did anything happen today? Did a kid do something today? And they may share with me, well, this one kid got into a fight with this other kid, and then we'll have a discussion about that, and how did that situation get neutralized, or what happened, who got involved, and how did it escalate? Were you there? And we create these conversations. Then we talk about, okay, what happens if that happens to you? What would you do? Great conversations, ongoing conversations, okay? And so that's all that I have right now. I'm going to leave that with you guys there. And one question before you guys leave, let me know how many of you already had conversations with your children about personal safety. Let me know right below. And also share this with your friends and family if you find that this might be beneficial to them. And also, if you have any questions about safety or anything, whether it's bullying or harassment, intimidation, or bullying, which is one of my biggest topics that I spoke on in my last school talk, was the HIB, harassment, intimidation, and bullying. If you have any questions along those lines, please ask right below. You can email me, peterliciaga@gmail.com. And I just appreciate you spending this time with me. Have a great day. Be safe. See you guys next time. Take care.